week one of the fantasy football season, and here's a few wide receivers I have as sleepers this week. The first guy, Tutu Atwell of the Los Angeles Rams. So it looks like Cooper Kupp could be out multiple weeks now. He's already ruled out, obviously, for week one here for this Los Angeles Ram team. And Atwell last season, we saw him get some work towards the end of the season where the Rams were all banged up with tons of injuries. And he actually had 18 catches for 298 receiving yards and a touchdown. So he's more of a slot guy. He's a quick 5'9", 165-pound wide receiver, more of a gadget guy. Jet sweeps and bubble screens, stuff like that you're going to see from Atwell. But he could be a guy that could be a burner as well, possibly. And at least Matt Stafford is back in the lineup here. After last season, he was out for the majority of the season. So right now, it looks like he's going to be the number 2 wide receiver over there in Los Angeles. And this is a ball game at the Seattle Seahawks where I see it getting out of hand early and often, where they're going to have to throw a lot, and Atwell could get a lot of garbage time points in this game for PPR league. So right now, if you want a real dart throw in this one and a sleeper option, Atwell's available in 99% of fantasy leagues, but he might get a lot of snaps. And like I said, right now they're listing him as the number 2 wide receiver over there in Los Angeles. Next wide receiver is KJ Osborne of the Minnesota Vikings. So right now, I know they drafted Jordan Addison, but I think Osborne's a forgotten guy, and he had some pop games last season as the 3rd wide receiver, and he actually finished the year with 60 catches, 650 receiving yards, and 5 touchdowns. So we know this is an explosive offense over there in Minnesota, where they can obviously spread you out, and they got tons of options, no doubt about it. Justin Jefferson, obviously, TJ Hawkinson, they drafted Addison, you got Madison out of the backfield as well. But KJ Osborne, he's a guy that can run the route tree. He could go deep for some passes and make some plays, and he's definitely a sleeper option. Available right now in 90% of fantasy leagues, and with a good matchup versus Tampa coming to town, I think he could be one of the top waiver wire pickups off the wire at the receiver position after week 1 here. But right now, I got him at the sleeper radar. Like I said, he's available in 90% of fantasy leagues. And the third and final wide receiver I have as a sleeper is Donovan Peoples-Jones of the Cleveland Browns. I know they got Elijah Moore in a trade with the New York Jets in the offseason, but Donovan Peoples-Jones, he had a great year last season, no doubt about it. 61 catches, 839 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So right now, he's still going to have a role with this team. Even if he's the number 3 wide receiver, obviously it's the new thing over the last few seasons is spread the defenses out, get 3 receivers with a guy in the slot, and that's exactly what I think the Cleveland Browns are going to do, especially with a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, who's going to look for his running lanes, who likes to spread defenses out, and he's got a big arm as well. I know last season was a struggle for Watson, but I think this year he could get things going. He had a full training camp, and he should be focused now, is Deshaun Watson. And right here in week 1, it's a pretty decent matchup versus Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously a team the Cleveland Browns know well, and they've played well over the last few seasons since Joe Burrow's been in the league. So I think Peoples-Jones in deeper leagues with obviously a lot of flex positions, or like an 18-team league or something, is possibly a player you could play. That's a few wide receivers I have as sleepers here in week 1 of the fantasy football season.